guys, welcome back to Star TV. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about what to do when you're approached by strange men. Now, right before we get into today's lovely video, make sure you guys subscribe to this channel. Make sure you guys like this video and drop a comment down below. Now, I just got home from work and this has been on my mind all day. I'm like, you know what? I'm thinking about all the situations I've been through with being outside and having all these random men approaching me, some crazy, some not too right in the head and some, regular. But long story short, I'm seeing a lot of women, get assaulted for turning down a guy or, getting hurt or kidnapped or murdered. And I'm like, you know what? I want to use my platform to speak to women on what you can do when strange men approach you and how you can get out of these type of situations. Because listen, being a woman is dangerous. Sometimes even being a woman is not safe. You're already a target and you're already being preyed upon. But how do we protect ourselves when things happen outside, when we're minding our business and we least expect it? Number one, what to do when you get approached by a man who is, giving you creep vibes and very aggressive. I wrote it down. Be very polite, but not too inviting. Listen, a lot of these guys have mama issues. They daddy was not in their life. Okay, a lot of these guys have, trauma that stems from childhood. They have rejection issues. The last thing you want to do when a guy approaches you is curse him out, roll your eyes at him, or turn him down in a mean and stuck up way. No, you got to think about your life. Women are getting killed over this. You don't know what a man has in his pocket, okay? Don't be like me. If you've been rocking with me since the beginning, you guys know one time I was assaulted in public and, the guy was looking for something in his, in his pocket and I didn't care. I still attacked him with my pepper spray. Don't be like me. You got to think smart. Thank you, God, for being with me. But you got to think smart, okay? So be very polite. When a man approaches you, whether you are interested or not, you don't have to be rude. You can be polite, but don't make him feel too comfortable to the point where he think that, oh, yeah, now I could get her number, now I could talk to her, now I can make advances to her. Be polite, but be very distant. Don't yell, don't scream, don't say anything offensive, don't insult him, because think about making it home safe. You don't know what these men are capable of. A lot of times we coming from work, we're annoyed, or we just don't want anything to do with these men because we know what they're about, and we can give off, such nasty energy or just be very, very mean about it. And you don't have to be mean about it. You can be polite, like, I'm not interested, or, I have to go, I can't really talk right now. Be nice, but don't be too mean to the point where he might get upset and start cursing you out. Because a lot of these men nowadays, they get turned down, they get rejected, and they're calling females out their name. So you want to be as nice as you can, but not too inviting. Let's get into number two. Watch his hands and body movements. A lot of guys who are up to no good, they're fidgety, they're moving a lot, they're putting their hands in their pockets. Just go based off the energy. What do you feel in his body language? Do you feel like he's about to do something? Do you feel like he's about to touch you? Do you feel like he could grab you up right now and try to harm you? Watch his hands, watch his eyes. Can he look at you in the eye? Do he look like, he's waiting to do something to you? These are things that a woman feels inside. We have woman intuition. And when a person approaches us, we can make certain assumptions based off their energy. So number one, be very polite, woman. It's not worth your life. Be very polite, but don't be too inviting, okay? And number two, watch his hands and his body movements. Let's get into number three. My favorite one. I use this all the time. Tell him that you have a boyfriend, and you don't have to be mean about it. You could just be like, okay, my name is Star. Nice to meet you, but I have a boyfriend. Like, just make it like, try to say it like, oh, I really understand where you're coming from. Like, make it sound like you understand where you're coming from, but, oh, that's nice, but I have a boyfriend. And try to make it seem like you feel bad for him, okay? Like, have a little pity on him. I be doing that all the time, and they be like, oh, okay, ma, like, all right, you good, have a good day. And I really respect that. When you turn somebody down in a nice and gentle, calm manner, and they be like, have a good day. I respect that, ma. You beautiful regardless. I respect that. But also, you wouldn't have gotten the same outcome if you said, yo, leave me alone. Like, I'm not interested. Don't nobody want to talk to you. What do you want? When you say that, especially to these guys out here in New York, it's a whole different ball game. You know, I seen some girl on the news about 7 years ago. She was murdered at the West Indian Day Parade in Brooklyn because she turned somebody down. Some guy wanted to dance with her. She was like, nah. She jumped on him and he shot her in the head and she died. So it was really not worth it. I think that was in 2016. So be nice about it. You know, have the fake pity. Oh, hi, nice to meet you, but I have a boyfriend. Okay? Anything to make it home alive. You got to turn into the actress that you never knew you was. Okay? Number 4. This is my favorite one. I love this one. Pretend you get a phone call and start walking away. That's my favorite one. I'd be like, hello? Daquan, what are you talking about? You always want to argue. I'm sorry, I'm on the phone. No, because you always want to argue. Like, what is it now? I'm coming upstairs. You said you're coming downstairs, and start walking away. Like, pretend you got a boyfriend and you on the phone and he called you and just start arguing. Daquan, what are you talking about? Like, you always on that. I'm telling you, it works every time. It works every time. You know, and sometimes when a strange creep approaches you and, you know, you kind of frozen or you get an anxiety attack, because I don't know about y'all, but, you know, I've been through a lot of situations. So when a group of guys start talking to me or a guy start coming up to me, sometimes I get anxiety, like, oh my goodness, like, because I know I'm not interested. I'm like, how am I going to get out of this? So I became the best actress of my life, child. So yes, okay, that's another thing that you could do. Pretend that your phone don't even got to ring. Pretend you get a phone call and just start arguing. Say the name Daquan. Daquan, Marquise. And start arguing and start walking away. So he feel like, oh, she already got somebody. And, you know, they arguing now. And he said he coming down the block. Daquan, you said you coming down the block? You know, and that will scare a man off, okay? And I'm hoping and I pray that this video helps somebody out there, because I know what it's like to be a woman and to feel so uncomfortable being approached by a man. He's very demanding, you know, he's real close, all up in your face. He's demanding your number, and you don't want to die because of something so small. You don't want to be a victim. Let's get into tip number 4. I'm actually having so much fun making this video right now, you guys. So, wait, that was number 4. Okay, number 5. And this is if you feel like he's about to harm you or he's being too forceful, too initiating, and too aggressive. Number 5, approach someone you don't know and act like you know them. So let's say, you know, you feel like your life is in danger. You need to get away ASAP because you feel like he's about to do something to you and you don't know this man. Start looking around, right? Start looking around. And I want you to go up to the biggest and the strongest looking guy that you see and be like, hey, Michael, you dead ain't answer my text. Why you be playing with me? And start getting all up in his face, right? And then you look at the man and you be like, pretend you know me. Somebody's following me. And then you start getting back into character. No, because you always playing like, you know, we go together. I'm telling you this, it may seem embarrassing, but sometimes you have to swallow your pride to save your life. Sometimes you have to swallow your pride to make it home safe. If you have to approach a stranger and act like you know him and whisper to him in a low tone to go along with it, just to scare somebody off or to have somebody else back up, then do what you got to do. You know, there's so many times, you know, this summer, you know, and even right now where I'm followed by strange men, even at nighttime, or I'm approached. I was even followed into my building. And had it not been for my dog kept looking back at the guy. I would have went upstairs to my apartment. He would have followed me. And, you know, no telling what would have happened to me. I honestly think that if it wasn't for, number 1, God, and me just having this wisdom, you know, doing my research, knowing how to get out of certain situations, I honestly think I probably would have been kidnapped by now, or something probably would have happened to me, you know? And I just thank God that I'm still here, because you just never know. And I know I joke a lot. I know I'm laughing with y'all. I know I'm making this fun. But please take it so seriously. We're losing too many of our women to not only domestic violence, but violence, you know, from men, period. Men that can't take rejection. Men who have trauma issues. Men who want what they want and they're not taking no for an answer. And rest in peace to all of our victims who lost their life because a man couldn't take rejection. You know, like Mia Marcano. I don't know if you guys know about that story. I'll post it. You know, rest in peace to her. You know, this video is also inspired by her as well.
19-year-old Mia Marcano was a vibrant, hopeful college student. She graduated from Flanagan High School, moving to Orlando to attend college. In the months after her move, her life would come to a brutal end. Mia was murdered.
You know, it's something that it'll play in my mind over and over throughout every day. So many memories.
Her father, Marlon Marcano, fighting tears in a sit-down interview with Local 10, reflecting on his daughter's life and how it tragically ended.
My mind is just left to wonder. Like I said, I go through the motions day by day.
In September of 2021, Mia missed a flight to Fort Lauderdale. It set off a large-scale investigation into her disappearance. We're now learning more about what led up to her murder in this 135-page investigative report released by the Orange County Sheriff's Office. In it, new crime scene photos including surveillance images of the last time Mia was likely seen alive walking home at the Arden Villas apartments, and clues inside her bedroom, her room in disarray, broken jewelry on the floor, her window open, and a small piece of furniture blocking her bedroom door. Mia's body was bound by black duct tape, much like the duct tape here, found in the suspect's car, with pieces of Mia's hair. Police quickly discovered Mia's co-worker had made romantic advances rebuffed by Mia. The report lays out how obsessed the suspect became. A friend showed detectives texts from Mia about the suspect, one saying, quote, "This guy at my job is just like obsessed with me." The suspect, Armando Caballero, was a maintenance worker at the complex. He would kill himself in the days after killing Mia. Police found this, 2 marks on the suspect's finger, consistent with bite marks, possible signs of a struggle. His death would leave her family with questions that may never be answered, hoping someone out there may be able to fill in the blanks.
Anybody who can give me some sort of answers, I'm taking it.
Let's get into number 6. And this is if you feel like you don't see nobody around that you can approach. You don't want to run into a store, he might follow you. Or you're too close to your house and you don't want him to know where you live. Number 6, stand in that spot, entertain him, then hurry and call an Uber. Some people will be like, why am I staying in one spot instead of walking away? Why am I entertaining him? Sometimes you got to act. Stay there and talk to him. Be like, yeah, you know, my name's Star. I'm single. Where you from? You know, what you like to do? When we go and link up, talk to him and be on your phone and hurry up to call the Uber, then log out of the Uber app. Have your Uber pull up to wherever you at. Talk to him, entertain him. And then when your Uber pull up, you be like, oh, I got to see you later. And you be out. That's how you get out of a situation. So he thinking that you interested and that y'all going somewhere, but you know this man is dangerous because you have woman intuition and you can sense it. And then as soon as that Uber pull up, you're out of there. You got to think smart. You got to be wise with it. We are women. You can't fight no man. You can't pepper spray everybody. You can't tase everybody. A man's strength overpowers our strength. How do we get out of these dangerous situations? And what can we do to safely remove ourselves? Let's get into number 7. And this is the last tip, okay? I made these tips up because these are tips that I also use. Give him your number, sis. Then block him. Block him when you get home. Now listen, I feel like as a woman, if I'm not interested in you, I shouldn't have to give you my number. Okay, because if I give you my number, my TikTok comes up, my Instagram comes up, my social media. But if you feel like this man is up to no good, he's not taking no for an answer, and you really not trying to get hurt over something so little, sacrifice. Give him your number. Pretend that you're interested. When you get home, block him. At least you made it home in one piece. When you get home, block him. If you got to change your number, then do that. The goal here is to stay alive. The goal here is to not wind up on the news. The goal here is not to wind up in the back of somebody's trunk. The goal here is not to be kidnapped. So if you got to give your number, give it. You can always change your number. You can always get another number, but you can't get another life. I hope you guys learned something from this video. Let's recap. Right before I go, let's recap. Number 1, be very polite to these men. Be nice, be kind, you know. It will diffuse the situation. Watch his hands and his body movements so you can read and predict his next move. Number 3, tell him you have a boyfriend. Okay. Number 4, if you're in dire need to get away, pretend you have a phone call, start walking away and start arguing, and say a guy's name, like say Michael, David, Marquise, Daquan, and be like, you coming down the block now? Okay, that will scare him away because he's trying to approach you, but now he knows there's another man in the picture and that man is well on his way. Number 5, approach someone you don't know and act like you know them. Okay. Number 6, stand in that spot, entertain him, make him think that, you know, he got a good chance. Call your Uber. When your Uber pull up, you dash. Okay, you dip. No ands, ifs, or buts. You're out of there. And last but not least, give him your number, sis, and then just block him when you get home. These are life-saving tips, okay? And God forbid, you know, this happened to me. If you're being followed by someone who's on your block, do not go home and do not go into your building. Please, 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 please. A lot of these men are following women to their buildings, pushing them in, and then, you know, sexually assaulting them, hurting them, murdering them. If you feel like somebody's following you, don't go into your building and don't go into your apartment door. Follow these tips, and I wish you guys the best, and I pray that all my women stay safe and protected. Don't be mean when you reject men. Don't be mean. Be kind about it. Play it smart, play it safe, and before you go outside, please stay prayed up because you just don't know what's waiting for you. I love you, Star Gang, and until next time, I'll see you soon. Peace.